Hello, everyone. Jenny here from the Proven Group, and I am here with Ravi, the co-founder and CEO of Kickin'Inn Australia. Ravi, I've been following your journey, and I'm so excited to have you here. So excited. Can you just tell us a little bit about your journey, a little bit about the business and what you stand for? Because it's amazing.
Jenny, thank you for having me on today, and I think we're going to have an interesting dialogue. The journey of Kickin'Inn Australia started on the 5th of March 2015 with myself and a good friend of mine called Singh. We were coming or deciding and discussing about what type of venture should we be starting in Australia, and we came up with the ideology that Cajun was very unknown in the Australian market, and this was a fantastic or fabulous time to launch the brand. But just like any idea or any ideas, you do come up with some obstacles, and we came up with a major obstacle. We could not find a significant supply of Cajun sauce. So then we both sat back and started scratching our head and saying, well, what do we do next? Well, the only option we had left was let's start making our own sauces. So between us and our wives, we started putting all the ingredients together. For 3 long years, we ate, breathed, saw, tasted Cajun for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, till we came up with a golden recipe. And then we decided to open our first restaurant on the 17th of September 2018 in Petersham. And that's how the journey started.
Absolutely love it. And Ravi, purpose is a really big part of the brand. Can you just share a little bit about that piece? Why are you doing what you're doing? What's your goal to change the world? Because I know you have big goals.
Yeah, thanks, Jenny. To me, purpose plays a very, very significant role, not only at my level as a co-founder and a CEO, but I'm ingraining purpose with all my 450 staff members. And the reason being is because we need to be in business for a reason. Now, everybody can make money. Everybody can sell seafood. Everybody can sell dresses, but that's not the ideology of why you be in business. And business is all about people. It's all about sales. It's all about profitability. It's all about community. So those are the 4 verticals that tie behind the brand in terms of core values, core competencies, and most importantly, it's the storytelling behind the brand of why we do what we do. So we want it to be a unique concept where people want to go to a restaurant, feel free. I'll tell you a quick story, Jenny. When I was young, my mom and dad used to take me to restaurants, and they used to say, hey, Ravi, when you go to the restaurant, make sure you dress well. Make sure you know which knives to pick from the table, which forks to pick on the table. Don't pick up the wrong glass. Don't drop your forks on the ground. So we used to be disciplined at home well before going to the restaurants. And I said to myself, well, let's change that convention and let's challenge that. Let's make a restaurant where it is very unique. People feel free. People want to enjoy. It doesn't matter if you've got, a bit of sauce on the side of your lip. It doesn't matter because everybody's doing exactly the same. Use your hands, put the beeps on and have fun. So we wanted to create a very unique concept where people, got, engaged, got attracted to, put their mobile phones on the side because they couldn't use their mobile phones because their hands were dirty. And they just want to have a nice, feel good conversation and enjoy seafood. And that's what we did.
I love the experience element. Everyone loves an experience.
Yeah.
Going to a restaurant should be that, often is not.
Exactly.
But, it should really, I absolutely love it. So
Yeah.
I can bring my son who thinks it's okay to lasso his pasta.
He can do whatever he wants.
Excellent. Good. Can't wait to try it.
Yeah.
Now, let's get into it. Leadership, you and I have discussed, leadership is really critical. And in franchising, even more so, because, there are so many people dependent and working with you. What do you see as the most important skills that franchise leaders need moving into the future?
Okay. I'm going to refer back to the wonderful person that I know very well, Jack Welch, who once said, and he made a very important remark, yesterday's managers cannot be tomorrow's leaders. And I really took that on board, and I really thought about it when I was young, when I was learning. as I was running companies and working for other people, I really started paying attention to great leaders around the world who have become very, very successful. And there were 3 or 4 basic fundamentals they followed. One of them being, personal branding. You have to be a leader where you can personally sell, your attributes, your knowledge, your understanding, who you are, what you do to the general public. And I think that's a very important fundamental now. And now, particularly with the young kids coming on board that really want to be, CEOs of yesterday, they are really looking forward to a leader that can stand up in front of the crowd and really talk about themselves in terms of who they are. The second thing I think that's very important, Jenny, given what's happening in the world now, the market is changing, is having a very good market knowledge. You have to know, and I call it finger on the pulse. You have to know how demographics is shifting, spending is shifting, what people are buying, what people are not buying, where people are moving to. You have to really understand markets, and not only local markets, and I call it micro markets, but you have to understand macro markets. The third element is the marketing element of it, social media. How engaged are you with social media? How engaged are you with the younger population and the generation of Australia? Look at BI tools. It's now gone to AI tools. Very soon it'll be something different where you have to really know what's happening in the world. Otherwise, you just fall behind, Jenny. So to me, those are the 3 very important leadership skills that you require in order to run a very effective business.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Obviously, inspiration is a big piece of that.
Absolutely.
Yep. Inspiring people to be their best, and
yep.
You're definitely fall into that category. Ravi, talking about inspiration, you are a wonderful leader. You've had a very successful career, ups, downs, like everyone else has had.
Yep.
You've achieved some amazing things, worked with some amazing organizations and some amazing people. Who's inspired you to be the amazing you?
You know what? I've been very fortunate, Jenny, and fortunate in the sense that I've worked with some very wonderful people when I started my journey. When I was, 16 years old, basically, I started following people around. And one of the guys that I will mention that unfortunately is not around is Malcolm Green, who I reported to, and I'm not really sure if you know, but the boxer Danny Green's dad. Here in Australia. And he's the guy that actually really inspired me to really understand what leadership was all about. Now, he was old school, but he was very, very modernized and innovative in the way he thought. He was very inspirational. He was very energetic. And one of the things he said to me, he said, Ravi, if you really want to be a good leader, wake up before the world. And at that time, when I was 16 years old, it didn't make sense. But now, looking back at it, the guy was 100% right. I wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I read the news. I check around what's happening around the world. So well before I get to the office, I know what's happening in the world, and this is the habit I've had ever since then. So he was a great leader. And then I have had wonderful people I've worked with. When I was working in Dubai, Thomas Lundgren was a boss that I responded to, and he was a great people manager. And that's where I learned the value of people and having the right people in your business, having people that really want to, work not with you or for you, but believe that they own part of the brand. And when your employees, go to that level, of the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, where they have, they're self-satisfied in terms of what the company is giving back to them in terms of salary, great employment, security as an example, meeting their psychological needs. They want to elevate themselves and be part of you. And I think when you get to that, that's the most wonderful things you can have in business. And that's the reason why I'm really enjoying myself here, because our 450 staff are at that level.
I love it. I love it. Wow. I think we're all coming on board, Ravi.
Oh, there you go.
Let me ask you, franchising is a wonderful business model, and it's it allows for so much success for so many people. What do you see as the most important skills for a franchisee to be successful?
I think it goes back to the fundamentals. I mean, first of all, the franchisee needs to really understand why they want to get into that business. I think a lot of times that I see, bottlenecks or hurdles, challenges is where people don't realize the business that they're getting into, because you have to really understand the business model. You have to really understand the business you're getting into. Now, don't forget, 15, 20, 30 years ago, the business the business dynamics had not changed much. It was more the economy that was driving the business. Now it's changed, Jenny. It's business driving the economy. So, and when business drives the economy drives the people. So you have to really choose and be very selective whether you want to go into hospitality, whether you want to go into retail, whether you want to go into pharmaceutical, medical, logistics. That's the first, core fundamental that I would recommend the franchisee to really, really think about. The other thing they need to think about is the location. Location plays a very important role because now the whole market dynamics is changing. Since COVID, Jenny, as you would have known, the major cities like Sydney, Melbourne, Queensland, Adelaide, in Australia alone has changed, and there's a lot of micro cities being constructed within the cities. So people, eat streets as an example. So people don't have to go to your, big suburban city to enjoy themselves or have a good night out. They can go to the Eat Street and have the same level of experience. So the franchisee needs to be really, really very mindful of where is the demographic shifting to, how they're moving, and what business they want to get to that can capture that market. The third element is our population is getting younger, and the younger generation want to spend. Now, you need to understand what they want to spend on. They want to look good. Clothing is going to do very well. They don't want to cook, so they want to go and eat out. It's going to do well, right? They want luxury. They want nice handbags, nice wristwatch. They want to do their hair. They want to do their makeup. They want to have fun. So anything to do with luxury and fun is going to do very well. So in my books, in the next 15 to 20 years, I think we're looking at retail, we're looking at hospitality, and we're looking at luxury and entertainment.
Wow.
That's my prediction.
What a really interesting perspective. Really, really love it. Can we dig a little bit deeper? So you've got a franchisee that's come on board. They've made the decision that your franchise is the one for them. Can we talk about their skills in terms of success? So, number one, want to ensure that they're a profitable business at a real basic level.
Yeah.
What are the skills that they need to ensure that, as you see it?
Okay. So first of all is finance. They have to have the financial skills in order to read the P&Ls and understand how to maneuver the business using finance as a resource. The second skill they need to have is they need to understand marketing and how are they going to market their business. As I said, social media is going gangbusters. It's growing. So how are they going to tap into, how are they going to use marketing as a tapping tool into the social media side of things? The third thing they need to understand is, products, logistics skills in terms of where they're going to buy the product, how they're going to negotiate this, the pricing of the products as an example, how they're going to dispatch the stock as an example. They need to have that knowledge. Now, the other thing that may be very, very important, and I think this is now coming on board, is innovation. They need to be very innovative in the way they're going to be running the business. The old school, the old model of running the business has now changed. So how are they taking the product to the consumer? Is it through the social media channels? Is it through face-to-face? Like in my case, Jenny, and I do a lot of storytelling. Myself and my business partner, we're in the business, every single day. We meet customers, we tell them. So the customers, when they see us, saying, that is Kickin'Inn, because they see a physical body walking around and sharing the experience and talking to them. Now, a lot of young people want that. They want that connection. They want that relationship. They want, that bond with the brand. So how is that franchisee going to create, or what skill they bring in to create that bond between themselves, the product, and the consumer? I think those are the four fundamentals.
So it's so interesting. And, I think, every brand has got a different approach with their franchise model, of course. And I think for you, that connection piece and that story of why they're there and building that community is so important, that the franchisees need to live it and believe it as a philosophical kind of piece to work.
Absolutely, Jenny. And then in addition to that, and this is my personal experience I'm going to share with you. I've got a story on my menu. So when you go to the restaurant, you'll see it. So the employee, when they're explaining to the customer what they're just about to buy, they go through the story first. Okay, these are the guys that started the business. This is their story. We've got a storyboard on the wall with our pictures on there. So when the customer's sitting there, even though myself and my business partner is not there, they connect just by looking at the picture. Yeah. They connect just by reading it. And then it is just reinforced by the employee behind the counter saying, hey, this is how the brand started. So I think to answer your question, a good franchisee to have that level of leadership and understanding in today's world is extremely important because the younger population want to connect.
I love it. I love it. What a unique journey you've been on, and a unique kind of proposition that you're bringing to the world in terms of your franchise model and that connection piece. I really, really love it. I really appreciate you joining me today. I have thoroughly enjoyed myself and look forward to hearing a lot more. Thanks, Ravi.
Thank you, Jenny. It was lovely talking to you.
Thank you.